Hi there. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Brittany Patterson, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm an online health and fitness coach, but I'm also a recovering multitasker. Not that I don't do it anymore, but I'm much better about multitasking without losing my marbles. So in the past, I frequently put a lot on my plate, completed it, yet felt angry, bitter, frustrated, all of the above once everything was over with. So I wanted to share with you the tips I've incorporated this past week while working 2 jobs and being an entrepreneur, and not feeling overwhelmed and feeling bitter about, those people that don't have a lot going on. You see, in the past, I would be working a couple jobs and going to school, and when my husband would have a rain day or a snow day, since he works outside, I would be so angry at him the rest of the day. It was like I was jealous and I was bitter, and it was just ruining me. It was just making me feel bad. So I knew that I needed to implement some personal development, which is going to be one of the tips I give you, but I just don't know where to start. So here's what I did this past week, and it has helped me so much. The first thing I did was I literally took a piece of paper or a planner if you have one, but I never can commit to using it for the full year, so I just used a piece of paper and then threw it out when the week is over with. So I took a piece of paper and I wrote out Monday through Sunday, and I wrote down my hours for both of my jobs. And I figured out which hours of the day that I had time slots in, and I highlighted it. So, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I like to go to sleep by 10 p.m. So then I filled my day with both of my jobs and then highlighted the hours that I was free. I gave myself a 5 to 10 minute window in between the tasks that I needed to get done, just in case something came up, like a phone call or construction, or my dog wanted to play with me for a few extra minutes, whatever the case may be. I put in that extra cushion so I wasn't trying to race time. I wanted time to be on my side, which is a huge, key into making this work. So I planned out my week. I highlighted the times that I had available. And then I wrote down everything that I wanted to get done that week, whether that was chores like going grocery shopping or packing up my bedroom since we're in the middle of a move, whatever that may be. I wrote down everything I wanted to get done that week. Then I categorized it by day, what needed to get done this specific day. So for instance, on Tuesday, I worked my first job 7 to 10 and my second job 12 to 9. So I had about an hour and 15 minutes in between because I gave myself that cushion for driving. And figured out what tasks I needed to get done in between that time and what I could get done when I got home. Now, I could have because I wanted to do some stuff for my business. I'm an entrepreneur, so I had to check in with my challengers. I wanted to go live and give you guys some content that day, and I also wanted to write a blog, but I also needed to go grocery shopping. So the next thing I did after I made the list of responsibilities that needed to get done was I delegated. I knew my husband was going to get off a little bit early that day, probably around 4 or 5, and I told him, here's the list. Can you please go grocery shopping for me so I don't have to go after I get off work? Now, the old me would have gotten off work at 9 and gone grocery shopping, and I would have got home around 10:30, angry and bitter and tired. So I delegated that task. Another thing I did with some of my tasks, like I wanted to pack up my bedroom that day, it wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to stay up late and I wasn't going to get up at 4 a.m. to do it. So I pushed it to the weekend because it can wait. So delegate your tasks and figure out what you really need to get done. Make it a must. Like if it doesn't happen that day, like there's no moving forward. Create a list of must do's, may do, if you have that extra time, and then you're delegating tasks. The next thing I did was I scheduled in rest. So like I mentioned before, I didn't want to stay up too late because I needed to get in adequate rest. So I do have energy for my job. So I wanted to make sure I was in bed, like totally asleep by 10 p.m. each night. And I woke up at 5 a.m. So that gave me 7 hours of sleep each night. And that's all my body really needs. I've done enough practice. That's all my body really needs. Each day, of course, I'd love to get to bed by like 8:30, but that isn't realistic. Anyway, I scheduled in rest. I also scheduled in Saturday. I knew I was going to sleep in and I was going to allow myself to work from my couch because I'm an entrepreneur. I can do that, right? So I gave myself that grace and I gave myself that rest. Now, the last tip I have for you is going to sting a little, but it needs to be said. The hours that I had throughout the day to use for my responsibilities, I used for my responsibilities. Kind of sounds like well, duh, you just said that. But really hear me. I utilized the time I had to complete the tasks I needed to get done. Now, in the past, I would use that hour and 15 minutes to scroll Facebook or watch TV or take my time in the things that I needed to get done. And I wasn't getting done everything I needed, and I was getting frustrated. So this week, when I made those to-do lists, I got that stuff done, which was hugely important to me. So really utilize the time you have. Sorry, those are my dogs. They want to get outside. And then last but not least, make sure you are taking care of your body. Guys, the reason I had so much energy was because I was eating healthy, I was getting enough sleep, and I was refueling my body. So those are my tips, really quick. Plan out your week, schedule in the time that you can get stuff done. Don't overwhelm yourself. Delegate the tasks you need to get done, and then do the tasks that you absolutely need to get done in the time that you have. I hope this helps. And don't beat yourself up about it. I have been a hot mess for years, and I'm just starting to nail this down. So if you have, any comments or concerns on how you can better multitask without totally losing your mind, reach out to me. I would love to help you. I hope this helped. Talk to you guys soon.